Hey everyone, my name is Marco Antonio, and thank you for joining me on Marco Antonio Strategizes. I'm a first-hand restaurant owner and operator and marketing strategist, and I've grown my business from over $100,000 a year to over $1 million a year in sales, utilizing several different tactics and marketing strategies. And one of the biggest things that I have to say, they are all ingredients to the recipe that was my success, but I have to mention one of the things that I cannot do. You can have the greatest marketing strategy in the world, you can have the best food in the world, but if you don't have good, great personnel to execute that strategy and vision, you are going nowhere. So, today, what I want to talk to you about is the three biggest questions that I like to ask during an interview process to vet a potential employee if they are a right fit for this team and possibly avoid a nightmare scenario. So let's jump right on in. I'm a firm believer in speaking to people respectfully and being relatable. So the first question we may not get a lot from, but we're going to really maximize this because if there's several questions we can always ask, but I'm a big person on less is more, and let's read into it. So the first one is going to be our icebreaker. This question, what I like to do is get to know the person a little bit and get them to relax and put them in their comfort zone and get us to tell them about. For the first question is, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your background? You disarm them with this question, get them to relax, whatever statements they're going to make. I'm an artist. Okay, well, why are you applying as a waiter? Well, entry level position. Or I'm studying right now to as I'm progressing to get my MBA. Okay, that's really interesting. And obviously, that would probably be a good fit if somebody's getting their business administration degree, a master's in business administration, and they're working as a waiter in front of house. Hey, great. The money's not going to get messed up. Hopefully, they've been in college this long. Hopefully, they can balance a till. But we've disarmed them with this question. You poke a little bit with familiarity with them, and now hopefully you have their guard down a little bit. That's what I like to do with this first question. Now, which leads me into my second question. What was your last position and why did you leave your previous employer? So you've disarmed them a little bit. Hopefully, they're going to give you the rundown and maybe a little bit of dirt on why they left their previous employer. In my experience, someone who is well composed never kisses and tells, I guess you would say. Or, you know, I don't know how we could relate this one, but in my experience, I've vetted personnel and maybe they're quick to speak, quick to act, and they're not the most well composed, and they're quick to maybe do gossip, rumors. You really have to analyze the trait on how they speak about their past and previous experience. And I'm not saying that if they come complaining to you about their past and previous experience, obviously that job was not a good suit and fit for them. That is why they are no longer there. May it be from the employer's perspective or from the employee perspective. But in one scenario that best suits this, what I want you to be on the lookout for. During this interview process, when I've asked an employee what led them to leave their last job and their last employer, and why are they applying here now, or what led them to this stage. I've gotten employees where they've told me, oh, well, right now I'm in the middle of suing my previous employer um, for XYZ. Okay. And after I let them give me their reasoning for their actions, and then I dig a little bit into it and see if I can find any more patterns and behaviors. Is this person a habitual legal challenger that wants to find every single little nook and cranny to dispute my methods of operation? Not that I'm saying that we that I even put myself in a position to challenge my integrity or the legality of how I conduct my business. But sometimes you may mean the best and somebody may misinterpret it differently. You really want to question or feel like you have to be on your toes 24/7 around this employee when they may interpret something and try to turn it into something negative. I do my best at all costs to avoid putting myself in any awkward situations, predicaments, my staff, my personnel, how they treat others, how they are treated. I'm very big on creating a positive work environment. So I really like to pick apart this question and why they left their previous employer and try to gain some insight on why they left. Sometimes I've learned from the employee later on that, they just wasn't a great fit for them and they parted ways. You can answer this question in a classy manner, but I've seen people answer this in a trashy manner. So you kind of get to know about if they're a vindictive person or if they're an understanding person or if they just want to go about their day and they just want to work and do their job. Some people, I've met serial people who just want to sue at all cost for anything. And I've unfortunately once hired somebody who, with the past previous 3 employers, had labor board disputes. And they were strategic to the extent to where, as an employer, we are responsible for our staff to take breaks, even if they don't take them in a reasonable amount of time in the hour slots that they're supposed to take their breaks in the intervals. We are still responsible as employers, even if the employee did not clock out in time. So I've seen people who have 30-minute breaks habitually clock out and then clock back in at 22, 19, 23. And later on, when there was like the slightest dispute or they were let go for whatever reason, they've come back and said, you know what? They cut me short on my breaks all the time. My boss would make me clock back in, and which was not the case. I've seen that happen in different scenarios. So be forewarned, this is the type of behavior and attitude that I try to look for before I bring somebody onto my team. And the last one, I always like to ask them, how do you handle stress and pressure? Let's say there's a line of 22 people out the door, the phones are ringing off the hook. How people react under stress and pressure is going to be a very big deal and deal maker or breaker for me, because I need to know, can when when the coals are on fire and all this, everything's on fire, everything's going around, how are they going to conduct themselves? It's really important for me to everybody keeps a calm, cool, level head, and we are all on fair, equal playing grounds, and we're all there to support each other. And I just want to know, you have to have these questions loaded and ready for your particular industry to see how this individual will react, and see if they're going to be a best fit for you in your industry and your place of work. So I'm going to touch a little bit more on these subjects again in my other videos. But if you do like this content that I've been putting out, I would greatly appreciate if you like this video, drop a comment below, subscribe to my channel, lets me know that you like and enjoy this content. That helps me support other business owners, restaurant operators. My name is Marco Antonio. Thank you for joining me on Marco Antonio Strategizes. And until next time, I will see you then. Peace.